He is the self-proclaimed king of Dublin.
What, you gonna do something about it? You gonna do?
I'll do something about it.
Well, do something then. Do something then, you.
But you may know him best as Mystic Mac. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Conor McGregor moments out of the ring. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're focusing on the best Conor McGregor moments from outside the octagon and ring only, so his best post-fight remarks did not make the cut. Number 10. That suit.
I don't care, I'm here to fight. All this other stuff is just noise.
At first, a Mystic Mac versus Money Mayweather boxing match seemed unlikely, but both camps reached an agreement in June 2017, with the two fighters guaranteed huge paychecks. Leading up to the fight, McGregor and Mayweather held press conferences in 4 major cities to ensure hype was high. During the LA stop, Mystic Mac walked on stage wearing a one-of-a-kind suit. From afar, it just looks like pinstripes, but those pinstripes are made from words. And those words are a pretty obscene way of saying you hate someone.
Yeah, it's a nice, good man. It says you.
Though Conor eventually lost to Mayweather in 10 rounds, this is still a classic example of just how brash and controversial he is.
He's in a tracksuit. He can't even afford a suit anymore.
Number 9. Going for a walk.
No chance, that's what you got.
Every great professional fighter needs a trademark move. For Conor, an act of imitation would evolve into much more. At UFC 202, McGregor borrowed a popular move from WWE mogul Vince McMahon, who Mystic Mac admitted he admires for his long-term business success. Still, Conor has made it more than clear that he's taken ownership of the strut, with his own flamboyant interpretation. While it may not be an original, his take on it has become trendy within pop culture, as other professional athletes and celebrities have adopted McGregor's signature move.
Are you kidding me?
Number 8. You'll do nothing.
You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing.
After a shocking loss against Nate Diaz at UFC 196, Conor got a well-deserved rematch for UFC 202. The initial press conference went down as one of the more memorable pre-fight events, but it was Conor's final words and actions that made headlines. Diaz taunted McGregor from across the room, leading the Irishman to fire back with some choice words of his own.
You'll do nothing. You'll do f***ing nothing.
Conor not only told Diaz to get lost, but he actually began throwing bottles, which ultimately earned him a $25,000 fine. All in all, this moment is proof that Mystic Mac plays by his own rules.
Conor, don't throw those hands. Conor.
Number 7. Conor fights Conan.
You put your hand down and swing around like that?
Exactly.
Over a year before his big fight with Money Mayweather, Conor squared off against a popular late-night host with Irish blood himself. There may be a significant size difference between the two, but luckily for Conan O'Brien, it was only an exhibition match.
I don't want to hit you, though.
Oh, please don't. If you really hit me, I will die before you hit me.
Conor nearly landed one of his famous capoeira sidekicks, which Conan managed to evade, probably thanks to 1 or 2 pre-show rehearsals.
Okay, and that would just go right across my face, and then I would die.
Yes.
Though he was already a legit UFC star, this moment would help Conor further enhance his personal brand while also showcasing his impressive technique.
Bam! That's so...
Number 6. Who the F is that guy?
This guy TKOs people. When I knock people out, they don't f***ing move.
In his last octagon bout before taking on Mayweather, Conor fought Eddie Alvarez at UFC 205. During a pre-fight conference, a reporter asked McGregor who would give him the most trouble. Before Mystic Mac could even answer the question, Jeremy Stevens interrupted to make a case for himself, which did not impress the champ whatsoever.
Who the f*** is that guy? Who the f*** is that?
For Conor, the name Jeremy Stevens doesn't have the same clout as Conor McGregor, even hinting at a potential fight with Floyd Mayweather, approximately 9 months before it was made official. On this day, McGregor made it clear that he is in a class all his own.
I might have to jump up and drag Floyd Mayweather out of bed and see what the he's at again.
Number 5. I love you like my bitch.
So I don't want to scare him anymore. He's petrified.
While promoting UFC 194, Conor showed us why he's one of the best smack talkers in professional sports. At first, he continuously insulted José Aldo, whom he'd ultimately knock out in 13 seconds. But the most verbal damage came when McGregor referenced Aldo's second fight against Chad Mendes at UFC 179.
You look like you've had a stroke. The left side of your face is drooping. I'm worried about you.
Conor patronized José, even suggesting that he was flat out worried about Aldo's physical well-being. He wasn't, of course, and McGregor made that clear with a scathing comparison.
I love you. I love you like my bitch. I just want to make sure you're okay.
In the UFC, this type of mental warfare is huge for promotion, and Conor is always on point with his comedic timing.
Get yourself medically tested because your face is drooping to the left.
Number 4, gods recognize gods.
Me and Jesus are cool.
Conor was originally scheduled to fight Rafael dos Anjos at UFC 197, but the Brazilian ultimately dropped out after breaking his leg during training. During a pre-fight conference, McGregor verbally destroyed his would-be opponent, consistently making fun of dos Anjos while bragging about his own legacy.
I made this fight. I made everything that to do with this. I put him in that seat.
Where Rafael was quiet and reserved, Conor was loud and boisterous, even comparing himself to a god.
I'm cool with all the gods. Gods recognize gods.
This is one of his most iconic boasts, and it seems to make sense, as Mystic Mac continues to defy the odds year after year.
I'm gonna go in and bully him in his own division. Toy with him in there.
Number 3, throwing money with Money Mayweather.
Yo! Yo!
While promoting his 2017 Money fight, Conor made a stop in Brooklyn, New York. Throughout his career, Floyd Mayweather typically dominated these kinds of promotional events, and he tried to show McGregor up here by showering him with money.
Turn the music on for the stripper!
But Conor is no scrub, and he did not seem too impressed. With his shades on and a robe around his neck, Mystic Mac made a keen observation about the flurry of cash.
They're all wounds! They're all f***ing wounds!
That's all you worth, you bitch!
Where's the real money at?
It was a brief moment, but still a perfect example of how McGregor can turn any situation in his favor with only a few razor-sharp words. Number 2, Red Panty Night.
If Dana rang you and said, you don't have to fight Cerrone, you can fight McGregor, even though Cerrone was still fit, would you take it?
At the Go Big press conference for UFC 197, Conor reminded Rafael dos Anjos, and everyone else in the room, about his own superstar status. Dos Anjos, who missed out on UFC 196 due to injury, tried to interrupt McGregor, but this moment belonged entirely to Mystic Mac.
You fight me, it's a celebration.
I would beat you.
When you sign to fight me, it's a celebration. You ring back home, you ring your wife. Baby, we done it. We're rich, baby.
Conor went on about how he thought he could make dos Anjos rich, and then went on to present a descriptive scenario involving the Brazilian's wife.
Break out the red panties. We're rich, baby.
Dana White seemed to appreciate the comedy, and when nobody else spoke up, Conor delivered the line one more time like only he could.
Yeah,
It's red panty night when you sign to fight me, eh? Back at home with your wife. It's a celebration.
Number 1, I would invade his favela on horseback.
I own this town. I own Rio de Janeiro.
Back in 2015, Conor was a top UFC contender, while José Aldo was the featherweight champ. Due to a rib injury, the Brazilian would ultimately drop out of UFC 189. However, he wouldn't bow out before an eventful pre-fight press conference that featured a memorable Mystic Mac moment. On this day, McGregor was on his opponent's home turf. Regardless, he didn't hold back with his insults, essentially making him the UFC's #1 villain.
If this was a different time, I would invade his favela on horseback and kill anyone that was not fit to walk.
On the tour's last stop back in his native Dublin, McGregor provided an exclamation point to the whole thing by making a bold proclamation, and even stealing Aldo's belt. Classic Conor.
I'm the champion, king of Dublin. I'm the real champion. You're looking at the king of Dublin, yeah? You're looking at him. Looking at him.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.